Well, today on the menu in our kitchen is going to be something that I have not made before, and you're going to get to see it first. It's homemade pasta. And the one that I chose to do is a bow tie pasta. And what we're going to need today is we're going to use farina flour, which is the 00. We're going to need some eggs, oil, a bowl, and we're also going to need a measuring device. We're going to measure this flour out by grams. It's 100 grams per egg. And this particular one that I got off Amazon, I am so happy with because it has different units. It can do anything from a gram to an ounce to a pound. So it's very flexible, and it also has this tear right here. You just place the bowl on there, and it has the weight of it. You click tear, and it goes to 0. Now, anything you're measuring in this bowl is going to be the actual product and nothing else. So let's go ahead. We're going to use 200 grams. We're going to take a little bit back out. Almost there. And there we go. We have 200 grams of flour and 2 eggs. Now that we have this all measured, we want to put this onto the counter. And we're going to make a little well in the center. And that's where our egg is going to go, and a little bit of olive oil. Now the next thing we're going to do is crack our egg into a separate bowl, and there's 2 reasons why we want to do that. The first one is we want to make sure that there's no shells or the egg is good, and then the second one is we really need to go ahead and scramble this up a little bit before we put it into that well. Now we got that scrambled up, we're going to get that into the well. Alright, we're going to open this up a little bit just to make sure that it goes in the center and it's not pouring out. We're going to put that right into the center. And now we need to add in a little bit of olive oil to finish this off. And I would say probably about, let's see here, that's about a teaspoon. And then we're going to get started with combining. Here we go. I just have a small one like this. Let's scrape it all together. And I'm just pressing down on it to get everything combined. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my hands. You're going to work it and get it to combine that flour and oil and eggs. It feels pretty good. I think what I may do though before we go any farther and before it's mixed all the way up, I'm going to add just a little bit more oil to this. Not too much, just a little bit to make it a little more pliable. All right, I would say that is probably another half teaspoon. I definitely have to get used to the texture and how it feels and the combining of it. And then we're going to knead it. It's feeling better now. Take all the extra off my hands. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil on my hands and put the rest of this all together. That feels better. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this into a ball, and we're going to wrap it up. We're going to put it inside the plastic. And we're going to set this aside for about 30 to 45 minutes. It has been 45 minutes. Let's take a look at this and see what it's like. That feels really good. Nice and pliable. I think it's going to work out pretty good. Now, a tip for you is to use a shaker that normally you'd put powdered sugar in, and go ahead and put your flour in it. Then when you're shaking it on there, it gets more even and it's not going to be so clumpy all over and having to try to move it around with your hands. I'm also going to shake over the rolling pin. And let's get started. All right, this is nice and thin. It feels pretty consistent all over. So now let's cut it. We're going to do this in small squares, so I'm going to take off any of the excess that's not even. And we're going to cut this in squares. Now actually when I go through these ones, these are actually ones that I had thinned out for. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the original ones and I'm stretching them out, and then I'm using these, and that is more the thickness that you want. The first batch I actually made too thick, so I'm fixing it by just going back and thinning it out. It made enough for 2 servings, so it would be 100 grams of flour to 1 egg, and probably a teaspoon of oil would be like 1 serving. Now we're going to get these in here. We're going to drop a few at a time. And we're going to go ahead and bring these back to boil and get them cooked up. And I'll get the next batch in. All right, so it has been a total of like 7 minutes for these. And we tasted it, and it's to our liking, so we're going to go ahead and take these out. And then I'm going to get the next batch in. Now the one thing that I have learned from doing this is I would definitely make them smaller. This is the last batch. And now we're going to get this dinner plated up, and you can see how it looks. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get this all set up. Get our pasta on our plate. And we're going to divide that out just amongst the 2 plates. That was perfect amount for each of us to have. Now we're going to take the pesto. And this is the pesto that I made before, and I put it in the freezer so that I would have it for another day. And now I want to grate some cheese on it. Okay, now this is ready. You see how nice this looks? Now the one thing that I want you to take away from this video is that you don't have to be perfect. When you're trying something new, stuff is going to happen. It takes time, it takes learning, and you can test it and see for thinness or thickness, for the shape of the pasta, things like that. So I've done a lot of learning for you. So take into consideration some of the things that I've taught you today, and then be daring and try it on your own and give this a shot, because it's going to be great. Right, now, Tim is going to be unedited in his testing of this, And he is going to be honest, just like he was about the soup, because this is the first time as far as us having homemade pasta. Go ahead, Tim.
All right. This looks really good. I love pesto. This is pistachio pesto, and I love homemade pasta. So let's go. Absolutely.
Is there anything that you would change at all?
Nothing. I lived in Italy for 2 years. This is right there. This is great. You got to try this.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We're going to go ahead and enjoy our dinner.